$1,800 like a product home that never tried. So I need the stores as showrooms, let's say, per se. And it would be amazing that I'll give even a cost, the equipment to everyone, all the stores, just to promote the online system.
Right.
Because you know what I'm saying? Like the store it's necessary. It's necessary. But I don't really think that the big future will be the store. The big future is AI, automation, and home market, not distance anymore. So we can go to Dubai without being in Dubai.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And take
yeah,
over the whole.
We're gonna penetrate markets.
You can take the whole market in Dubai because you have it.
Yeah.
You just say, I'm here, but remotely now, and we don't need the instructors and none of them. Go get it. Every single house, every single apartment have one of this.
And we're building right now a lead generation system. This is
sick. Okay.
Because it's the newest AI. So it's based on on a growth thesis. They call it that they realize that one of the biggest challenges.
You let me know when we're good?
Yeah, we're good.
We're good. Finish that. Okay, and then we'll present
based on a thesis
present.
that you know, like you get them to, for example, opt in.
Okay.
Right? A lot of campaigns are able to, you know, have them opt in. But then the challenge is the biggest bottleneck is right now, as you know, showing up.
Yeah.
Right? Like booking and showing up.
Yeah.
But there's now a way that we can optimize that. So we drive the conversion high to the bookings and show up rate. Because once they are with you, I know they're you got them, right? And that is in general the problem that a lot of people have the biggest challenge
they don't show up.
Showing up to the place.
Right. Yeah. And we're working right now in the background. It's going to be probably the technology that we're also going to use is going to be probably implemented within the next 8 weeks.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
So we're working right now double shifts as well because we're trying to manage like both, like our customers and in the same time, because that was one of our biggest bottlenecks. Our campaign's doing great. You know, our campaigns are amazing.
But they don't show up.
Yeah. And sometimes it's because the owners, for example, the challenge is they don't have time because they are still in the business, training a lot.
Operationals.
Right. They're still wearing too many hats. That's another thing that, you know, I'm working with them on one-on-one. The other reason is they really don't have the skills.
Yeah.
They just don't have the skills. They don't like lead nurturing. They have a lot of beliefs about them, not beliefs that are helpful, but more like limiting beliefs. And that's another reason. And on top, we're talking cold leads, and cold leads are tough. You have to understand the game. Mm-hmm. If you come into expecting that you get 100 out of 100, you're gonna just feeling a lot of pain all day long.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they are like cold. But there is a way to master this game, and then once you're there, it's actually amazing because it's super reliable and it's scalable, and it doesn't. And you're not just based on, you know, hoping that you get referrals. Referrals are super important. And of course, we have a system for that too, but
absolutely.
Yeah.
Limited. You want to do the introduction?
Let's do it.
Do it.
Okay,
get ready. We're going to talk.
Fun part begins.
I like that.
Okay, welcome back to the Impulse Body Fitness podcast. Today, I'm here with Sebastian, and I have a very special guest. She has been in the fitness industry for many, many, many years. We've connected with her. Very funny story how we got connected.
Later. No.
Yeah, we'll explain to you how that worked. And Sebastian, always a great believer in taking shots. And so with that, I present to you Jemima Steinhart.
Thank you.
Yay.
So Jemima, we've been talking, specifically you and Sebastian, for probably a couple months already, right?
Yeah.
Couple months.
At least.
And then you guys have very similar backgrounds. Very similar things happen with you guys.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think that we are twins and we got separated at birth.
At birth.
You know? And we just have very similar passions.
Yes.
We had to face the same challenges in life to then come back to each other and hopefully help us to go to the next level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We were just talking right now before we even got in about some similar stories. that happened to you, and then all I kept on thinking was like, this happened to you, this happened to you, this happened to you. Yeah. So, Jemima, give us a little bit of information about who you are, a little recap of how you started in EMS and where you at now.
How much time do I have?
And it
No,
has
okay.
to be in like 5
I
minutes.
give you the 60 seconds elevator pitch. Yeah, my name is Jemima. I am 42. I'm from Germany. And that's where I started my EMS journey. So I was actually, it was my second career. I have a degree in economics, and I worked in a very like middle, you know, like a, how would you say, in like a corporate IT company.
Okay. Got it.
And I started there as a clerk and then worked myself up. And I was there for a decade because I was doing my education. You know, we have a system in Germany, it's dual. So you study at the night and on the weekends so that I could still have like a full-time job to support myself and everything. But I was never passionate about that. It was just like, you know, like just what the normal German does, right?
I do what I have to do.
Like typical like 8 to 5 every day, but I wasn't passionate. My background is that I come from a family where there was always this challenge with food, particular sugar.
Okay.
So my grandmother died of diabetes. My father has like, you know, a very, you know, like challenging, like he suffers as well from diabetes. And I grew up with that. So watching that, I think I was like, I didn't want to follow in the like same steps. I didn't want to suffer, like because I saw my dad suffering and doing the same thing over and over again, right? So I wanted to help myself, but I also became very passionate about, I wanted to help my dad, obviously. I want to, you know, little girl, I wanted to fix my dad. So beside working, you know, this standard job, I started educating myself about nutrition. I did like my level 2, then I signed up for my level 3. And I wanted a way out of corporate job. And that's when someone introduced me to electro muscle stimulation. I was on the way of, I was thinking already, I want to open like a little studio. I was already thinking I want to do something where I can do like one-on-one consultation, like personal training. And
But
then
why fitness? What was your background back then?
there was no background.
But you used to work out or what?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So
Yes.
your fitness enthusiasm, like
Yes.
Okay.
I became like, I took the other, like I think out of self-help.
Got it.
I wanted, you know, because I had like a lot of challenges in the beginning growing up in a very unhealthy environment.
Okay.
You know, like
That's why.
As
Okay,
a
I got
child,
it.
when you're fed with a lot of sugar, and I had a lot of allergies. I was obese at times.
So this is Germany, where? Berlin?
Wuppertal.
Okay.
You don't know Wuppertal?
No. I know Berlin, but I don't know.
Berlin.
So, like, I'm from the West.
Okay.
Like, bigger cities would be like, it's very close to Düsseldorf, for example.
Düsseldorf, yeah.
Düsseldorf, yeah.
Okay.
I'm from this area.
Okay. And what year are we talking about? When was it?
That
2000?
was 2009.
2009, first contact with EMS.
Yes.
Okay. And then?
I couldn't sleep.
So you tried a machine. How did that work?
Yes. I went to like a gym, and they had a little shop in shop where there was 2 guys, and they just started off doing EMS.
Okay.
And they gave me a trial session, and I did power plate before. So I was open to the idea to do like kind of a PT with like a tool.
So you were looking at like a fit tech product without knowing it.
Exactly.
Because that's very advanced, which today is a trend. Everyone should have a fit tech product. Besides the service or whatever they do. Awesome. 2009, before me. I'm older than her, but she got in contact with EMS before.
I'm the real grandmother.
Yes.
So when you first tried the suit, what was the thoughts that you were getting in your head?
Oh, I was I was still standing there. So I tried it on the Miha, and I was still there, and they were leveling me up, you know, and making me doing like static moves, right? And in my head, I was already my head went like crazy. And then on the way home, and I talk, like I have
You said
written
it here.
the story
Okay.
is in the
Are we
book,
gonna
like
present this?
in the story is in the book in detail. But I literally drove home. I still know how I drove home and thought to myself, I got it. I felt like I just brought back like a raw diamond, diamond. And I was thinking, this is gonna change the world. I was just thinking, this is gonna change the world. I got it. Like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do.
I know the feeling.
We've spoke about it so many
times. It's weird because that happens to me in 2015 in Madrid. The difference is that I do have a fitness background. I'm a PE, physiology, group fitness developer, fitness classes, work for Reebok, Equinox, all over the place, searching something that really liked. I fall in love with spinning in 1997, 98, around that. I loved it. I met with Johnny Golver. You don't know what Johnny Golver is, but Johnny, and with Shrem back then. And I thought that the guy was amazing. Created the whole concept out of an accident, pretty much. And it happens the same thing, 2015, but in Europe. I didn't fall in love that much. I thought it was something there, but not in that format. So what happens to you with one-on-one training, it happens exactly the same thing, but in my head it was like, if it's not group, it's not as scalable. That was my first thing. And because I'm a group
instructor.
I mean,
group.
Yeah. I am group instructor, and everything is related to group, and 70% of traffic in gyms are coming from groups and blah, 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 group. I thought a PT would be like accessible and the extra, but the group was the way to go. But the technology wasn't there yet. Similar. Very similar.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So going back, what made you, think and say, you know what, I'm gonna go into this industry and I'm gonna open up my own studio.
Yeah. It's like, I like this, and then what?
Yeah. What
You're
happened
gonna open
after?
a studio
What
right
made
away?
you say, hey, this is where I want to go. I'm gonna leave my corporate life, corporate job, and I'm gonna pursue this?
Because I wanted to help people with weight loss.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
That's where the pain was. The pain was like, how can I help people transform their lives? How can I help people lose weight and make it as easy as possible? And when I learned about this tool, I was like, man, this is incredible.
Mhm.
So I went home. I couldn't sleep for 3 nights. And within these 3 days, I wrote my first brand and concept, which is my 30 minutes. Studios are still open. That was my first
Studio.
fitness business I started. I had other businesses before, but that was my first fitness business. And I mean, I was breathing it. I'm still breathing it. You can see how excited I get.
Yeah.
I would open a studio tomorrow again. Like I just believe in it so much. But I started one-on-one because my start was very challenging, because I thought, oh, okay, I'm gonna write a business plan, no problem. I get like a loan, 30K, buy a machine.
I was gonna ask you that. The finance, like, you got an investor, you did it by yourself. How put ABC together?
So my plan was to get a loan from the bank, and they wouldn't give it to me.
Right.
And I went to the next bank and the next bank and the next bank. And then I learned, someone told me, hey, don't give up, because KFC took 40 free loan, like requests, and they almost also stopped. And that was like, I didn't know that. It's so hard. Because back at that time, if I would ask for a loan for like a food trailer, probably they would have given to me. But
The concept wasn't strong enough. Yeah.
I will
they
never
don't know.
forget that lady. She looked at me and she's like, I will never forget that. She said, you are planning to sell an EMS 10 pack for 500 euro, and you think people buy that?
Right.
And I'm like, yes. And she's like, no, Mrs.
No.
Steinhart, we do not believe in it. And I went home, cry. And then this went on for like a couple of months because I tried all the banks. And then one day my dad called and he said, what's up? Like, we had a conversation. I was crying and I said, I do think I need to find another, like, go back to corporate, like just find another office job. And he said, how much do you need? And I said, well, I think in the loan I looked for 50K so I can start bigger, But I said, if I break it down, if I just buy one machine and I paint by myself, I can start with 25K. And he said, I'm so sorry, but I won't be able to do that because that's our retirement fund. I'm so sorry, I can't help you. And he hung up on me. And I was like, this is it. Like, I went to bed, and the next day my dad called me back and he said, I'm wiring it to you.
Wow.
And he wired me the money. My siblings hated me for that. Like, it created a lot of drama because I have 3 siblings, and they were like, why she's getting that? And they put this responsibility because I'm not from a rich family. That was literally that's retirement money. If I fail, that will have
which would be like a big chances that you will
Big
fail,
chances.
not because the product is not good, it's because it's the first business. The learning curve hurts a lot.
I wired him everything back after 2 years.
That's nice.
That's amazing.
With one wire.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Very
awesome.
proud.
Yeah.
Great.
That's good.
And I closed my siblings.
Are you the oldest or you?
I'm the third.
You're the third. Oh.
Yeah, I'm a fighter.
So that was 2009. Then first studio Germany. Then what?
Dubai.
Then you moved to Dubai.
Yeah, so I had a customer that came in,
Say, let's open over there.
Arab descent, lost 120 pounds with me,
Right.
and said, you need to go to Dubai.
Right.
And either I do it by myself or you come with me. And I'm like, okay, let's look into that. My studio in Germany was a huge success. I started with 1 machine. Then I very soon had 150 members. I bought the second machine. I bought the third machine. I had a group class. I was one of the first ones who did like groups right away. And then I set up the first flagship in Dubai. And that was 2013.
13, Dubai. Then after Dubai, all the way until pandemic, kind
Yes.
of.
Yeah.
And then you moved.
How many studios did you have in Dubai?
My peak was 10 locations plus the distribution of Miha plus the franchise, and we had several franchises. So we had franchises in the UAE and in Abu Dhabi, in Qatar,
Middle East.
Middle East.
So you worked for Miha for how long?
10 years.
Okay. So that's a huge difference because I'm not gonna do names, but another brand also want me to work for them pretty much. Like if you can open United States, all right, so you work for us and things like that. And I'm like, oh, Latin America, and you work for us and things like that. I'm on this side of a planet, so. And I said, no, I'm not gonna work for no one. I'll do my own thing. I'll just buy the equipment. And they didn't have back then a structure of franchise. They just sell the equipment. And the field, like the niche of EMS, it shouldn't be that way. Only you sell the equipment and everyone do whatever they want. I actually asked, what should I do with the equipment? They didn't know. There was no instruction. There was no education, no certification, none. I can tell, we know.
Yeah.
You come Saturday and you see what we do with EMS and the reason why. And you ask questions. You say, why you do this? Why you do that? Why EMS works this way? What is a warm-up, a setup, and a workout? And it's not, we do whatever we want. Nobody can do whatever they want. Everything changed in EMS. Gravity doesn't work. Contractions are different. Exercise doesn't apply the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not written things on that, except, I'm going to show it to you, except us, that we did it for the last 8 years. Try error at first, and then a lot of study. But there's not such of, it is in terms of the business model, education, you do great on that. And all the operations of the business, but actually the product itself and what's going on with EMS. Remember that we had a chat about weights and all that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's a lot of fake things there. And there's a lot of realities
Right.
that people don't address yet. It will be. And I bet, I'm telling you, that probably you'll be one of the 2-3 people on EMS worldwide taking over everything in terms of education, business-wise, instructors. Because besides the locations or the brands that they're using, EMS is EMS. So there is how many instructors around the planet? Did you know? I don't know. There's a data there? No. There's some kind of like a, IDEA? What's IDEA here in the United States? There is IDEA or IRSA?
Yeah.
You know what IRSA is? IRSA
Yeah.
or IDEA?
Yeah.
Okay, they have the data and fitness,
course.
right? But not an EMS.
No.
How many are we?
I can tell you that there is roughly around 25,000 studios worldwide.
Studios. Okay.
Studios.
Probably 60,000 instructors, 70 maybe.
But it's definitely a market that's growing every day.
Right.
And I do believe from like in general, because we are right now in a phase where this whole and there's we don't even have a real name yet, you know, like because right now everything is blending biohacking, longevity, wellness clinics. Then you have, you know, cryo practitioners, they have red light therapy and they
Yes.
do, you know, like it's a but all of that is all of this together is an industry that is massively growing.
Well, 100% health and beauty. But don't you think that we are way different than the rest? There's an unknown huge gray zone in EMS. People in general, and I'm saying this because I don't want to say, hey, I know and nobody knows. There's a lot of stuff that we don't know. There's a lot of stuff that is happening. They're happening. We'll tell you stories and we'll tell you cases. There's not publications. There's not studies about it. And it happens that here, the location in Sunny Isles is a little Dubai. Put it that way. There's a bunch of high races. And everything is Rolls Royce and all that. Which remind me that we charge too little every day.
Yeah.
She's the one who's like, you're doing wrong.
Prices are
What?
going
You're
up.
like, you're doing wrong. And it's true.
It's true.
It is true. And the worst thing
and I can't
is
wait
that
for
I know
you. And
that I know what I'm doing wrong. It's just I can't get out of it.
Yeah.
You know, we
need-
spoke about it.
You need sometimes, and that's why I say every coach needs a coach.
100%.
I need a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Like
100%.
you know, I know how to train myself, but it's 150% different if I have you training me as if I train myself. And
No,
you
100%.
because you're so blind to yourself, right?
No, I was going to finish the thing. I believed, let's say there is more than 50,000 instructors, right? There is no education, no standards, no certification, none. Actually, and then we'll talk about this later, the water thing. We can talk about that thing all day long. What's good and what's wrong about it? Pros and cons. So if we,
What do you mean by the water thing?
the fake connections through water.
You mean using water as a conductor?
Using water as a conductor.
Conductor.
Yes.
Yeah. Because some people might
I think that's all. Like we should not use water anymore.
Oh, that's interesting. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes. So basically we generate involuntary contractions. So we bridge the brain and the
Right.
brain that it's sympathetic and parasympathetic. Okay. We put one of the functions on the side and we do it from it's on a hard drive. The muscles don't think, we think. So we connect to the muscles and fake the neural
Yeah.
connection.
The action potential comes from the external electrode, not from the brain.
Correct. So if the muscles react to that, and then we, on certain point, take the avenues, which is the nervous system, we create the fake contractions through water because we wanted to connect right away. But you forget it's something. You're forgetting the nervous system and all the temperature, the body temperature, the normal procedure of all the muscles and every nervous system that it works when you are warmed up. The fact that you eliminate water in your body is because you gotta regulate the temperature.
Right.
And the water that you eliminate from your own thing has a temperature also.
Right.
Okay, the body has to have the same temperature as the electrode or more, no less, the body. So that means if I put water as connection and you generate a muscle contraction, you can pull the muscle because you are pretty much turning on the engine and getting out at 70 miles per hour.
Right.
And the whole system is not ready yet.
Yeah.
It connects and it turns on and you feel it, but the system's not ready yet.
Right.
What is the problem to wait 5 minutes and activate all the system properly
Right.
and wait until the system tells you, your own system tells you, I'm ready to go.
Right.
Why do I have to wake you up and make you do a sprint right away just because of the time? So do a system, a procedure, a format, or something that allows you to connect in the right way.
Right.
There's not such a rush. So the water is not needed. You have water.
Yeah.
We are 70% water. Use that.
Right.
And you are going to activate probably a minute before him and me 2 minutes after him, because all the systems are different. But the time frame is between 5 and 7 minutes.
Correct.
Okay, so if that is true, let's say for an instance, why do we have to put water on people? It's because of the technology, or because we want to rush the time, or what? Actually, if you put water on me and the water on top of it, it has different temperature than my body, and let's say Miami is one thing, Boston is another thing, and blah, 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 that it's against you, va en contra.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't flow. I've tried putting water on people many times and no water on people. It's no water the way to go. So now work on the technology. Don't work on the procedure of how to work out with people. That's one. Then the waves and all that are related to muscle contractions, type of fibers, the time of the contraction, the intensity, the frequency, blah, 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 blah. All that, it affects according to your pH, that nobody talks about the pH, and the temperature of your body. So we're skipping the most important part of the class, which is the warm-up. Most important part of the class, warm-up. No, even talk about that if you put water in my whole body, right? I connect every part of my body the same. Yes? Okay, but we don't have the same distribution in the body. So muscle-wise and fat percentage are different, allocated. Women's, guys.
Yeah.
We cannot connect the same.
No, because the threshold is super, super
But
different.
that decision is your body making it, not the water.
Yes.
So
and not
we-
the system, and
So
not the coach.
yeah, exactly. We're telling the body, hey, I'll do everything at the same time with the same intensity and every part of your body because I wanted it right now. Doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
It does not work like that. So we're gonna get deep on that thing one day with time and a little bit more research and numbers, and you'll be like, yeah, you're right. We all should respect the normal warm-up and everyone.
Right.
So if you go back to the exercise, let's say, we're saying that everyone is ready to work out at the same time, even if they didn't warm up yet. What
Yeah.
concept is that?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Do you
It's
understand?
absolutely crazy.
Exactly.
We used to warm up, like my spray bottles in Germany, and in the wintertime it's super
Yeah.
cold, and people
Yeah.
would come into the studio freezing. They
They
don't
put
want to
co-
get into a wet, cold suit. That feels so uncomfortable. So we would boil the water and then put like steaming hot water into the bottles and spray the vest and the straps.
Yeah.
And you would see the steam, but obviously the heat doesn't last long. But it was enough to, when they put it on, it felt
They
like
feel loose.
super comfortable,
Yeah.
you know. So that's what we did,
Yeah, but that heat, it's from outside. It's not
Yeah.
coming from inside
not
out.
from inside.
Exactly. So I'm not only talking about temperature. I'm talking about the hormone system works different. There's a bunch of details. I don't want to bore people, but there's a bunch of things that are happening. Líquido synovial on the joints. There's a bunch of stuff that it's not only water.
No, it's
not water.
No, I 100% that, like, there goes so much into it, and I agree. I think, but that's one thing that is so interesting,
Yes.
specifically for the 50,000 trainers out there that don't know about
That I'm thinking
that are
since-
just trained, like, and that's one thing why I left, like, my first
Let's go back to
supplier,
Yeah,
because
they force you
I
to
was
do.
fed up on, like, wanting us to put into, like, this system that benefited only them, that was like, it's like that. So this is how you do it. Don't ask questions. Don't go right and left, because that would require education, but that would require different education. So basically, don't think and just follow it like a robot.
They use her as a sales rep, pretty much. All they want is sell equipment. So that's why I said, I don't need them. I'm going to do it my own. I mean, if I do it my own, and it's different because I'm on both sides. I use the hot different ways. if she were to be with people and tell me, Sebastian, this is what's happening with the equipment, I believe A, B, and C, I will take that in consideration, sit down and say, how can we make it better? Even it's not beneficial for me because I've done 1,000 units and I have to sell it, which I get it. I get that part. But the research and the upgrades, you have to do it all the time, especially in this field. Think about it. We stimulate collagen. Collagen are tendons and ligaments. Has nothing to do with water. And we contract them since minute one. So there's a misconception about everything. Yeah, but this is not ours. No, not that one. No one.
No?
No.
Okay.
That's not ours. So that's one. And then the Bluetooth thing. Obviously, cables are gone too. No more cables.
Of course not.
And-
But I think that's already a couple of years. But
Yeah, there is.
There was another thing where I could get furious about it because it's like, like this indoctrination of, and all these lies, like it's not safe without a wire. And it's, like, why would you want, I think I've passed this for so many years now that I'm like, but yeah, it's a topic that makes me furious because
You know what we should do one day? A convention of EMS and put everyone together.
yeah.
Everyone.
I wanted to do this year, but then was the release of my book.
The book. We're going to talk about it.
But that's why the next thing is definitely the event, and let's do it. Let's plan it right
Yeah.
away because I
Yeah.
have planned I wanted to do like a retreat for so long. I had actually one planned with someone like I was working, but then he left the industry because he was screwed over.
Oh,
Yeah. Very sad story. So he left us, and but yeah, I'm so open to it. I can't wait to.
at the end of the day, it's going to move forward because the product is good itself and it's so good that resists everything. You are saving pretty much the industry in terms of help entrepreneurs to run businesses, and this is not easy. Everyone learn the hard way. Nobody tell them what to do, and this is so unique. And there's a niche that I was telling Isaac that we were looking for people for many years to do lead generations. There's many companies, lead generation,
Right.
lead generation, AIs, lead generation. Yeah, but you have to know
The
our
niche.
product. Exactly. And it's the first day we spoke over the phone, I'm like, all right, I don't have to explain that much. So now, am I getting emotional again, or it's true? Because it happens to me all the time. Every time that I talk to someone, I believe. I don't know. I believe in people.
I will say one thing about Sebastian. He has this trait that he asks everyone, like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And he would ask us all, and then he would like call me, I was thinking about this and I don't know how to wrap my way around it. And he's a thinker. He thinks and he analyzes. He just like tears it apart, brings it back together. And the thing is, I guess he found his match in terms of like EMS experience, right?
Because you feel alone, pretty much.
Oh yeah.
It's like us and the manufacturers. All right, now I'm a manufacturer. So there's no more manufacturers for me. I don't talk to them. I don't need them. Perfect. Still, there's a lot to go. This, it's incredible. Now, how do we sell it? How do we sell something that we know there is a solution, but nobody knows? And then now you got to sell the product to people that they didn't even try yet. So how do you sell something that you know is so amazing, but nobody tried yet? So you do need the stores. Okay. But the stores, everyone is using different brands. So it's not the same. It is, but it's not. So it's like I'm selling a Tesla, but go to Toyota because it's the closest dealer that you have, and go and the Toyota. And then you're going to tell me, all right, that's the same. No. My Tesla is better, but it's not a Toyota. But whatever. It's the similar thing that you just try. You never drive, so you drive something. Too complicated. Would it be like a perfect word for me? And those thousands of studios, they have the same technology. All of them. The same. So I can, have a base. Probably for you too. Because you have to kind of like work around, oh, how's Sebastian's studio? What do they do? How do we sell it? Blah, blah. Do you remember the other day, me and Johan, what did you put under the suit? And he was like, well, I'm like, no, please no.
Yeah, and it's so interesting, like to give like context to
Yeah,
our listeners. So we set up your first campaign, right?
Yes.
So we
It's
did
working
the
well.
copy and the ads, and then Johan came to me and he's like, I think I upset Sebastian so much, and I'm like, what happened?
No.
And he's like, I didn't put his suit on the like
On
in
the ad.
on the ad, like the girl, on the ad. She's
Very offensive. No, I'm
It's
joking.
very
Johan.
offensive.
No,
I'm
it wasn't
joking,
offensive.
Johan.
and I was like, yeah, babe, like he, like
No.
he's a like that's his baby, right? That's his suit.
He's very passionate.
He's very passionate, but Johan is just like, and like it wouldn't have. He changed it.
I got his point. I got it.
He changed it.
Yeah.
But the prospect or the person that sees the ad has no idea, doesn't care.
The difference
It's
between
like
one and the other.
probably not even pays attention to the hook,
Yeah.
right? The hook on
Correct.
the ad,
Yeah.
but they don't care. We have it so many times. For example, when we create ad sets, we choose colors we don't use even your brand colors sometimes, not because we disregard your branding.
I thought about it too, and
Yeah.
I said too much. I'm not gonna say anything about
Yeah,
the colors yet.
We were
Yeah.
gonna say another thing too, because the suit that Johan did had a pad like in
And
the
the
calves.
calves.
And then we're like, should we tell him? Should we not tell him?
Don't say nothing, I said,
Now
don't
you
say
know. But
Yeah.
and then I think it was the color pink, right? Like something
Pink.
like that.
Ah.
So it is true. It is true what you're saying. Because we constructed, I guess, our whole business. If you walk into our retail store, you're gonna see the same exact colors and everything is the same.
Oh yeah,
It's brand.
Yeah, it's
It's
the
brand.
branding. Yeah.
And listen, I agree. It is important, super important. But Johan is all about meta, and he just realized over the years that sometimes
doesn't
different colors do even better. And for him, what matters to him is that you
Get the leads.
get the leads.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna ask him, how did you do it? In the end, the moment you get your
100%.
leads, you're like, okay, this works, great. So it's just his experience. That's why
100%.
Ofi told us the same thing.
I spoke with Ofi,
Yeah.
and he was like, I'm thinking exactly the same as you, but let him do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? Because if he does whatever he wants to do and get results, good for him. And if he doesn't get results, it's his fault.
Yeah.
But if we tell them, put this, and it doesn't get results, it's our fault.
Correct.
So let him do his magic,
It's
and then let's say how it works, and then it works.
Yeah,
Yes.
and we had this before that we would try to accommodate the customer first.
You're right.
And then we don't get the results, and it's like, we need to be stricter. We need to be let us do our job, But I get it, and I think, it's a lot of testing in the beginning, anyways. But the person who sees the ad does not care what suit is on that model. Actually,
I want to talk about Jemima's book.
Jemima, tell us a little bit more about your book, Shockingly Successful. How did it start? What did you think about it? Where did the thought came from?
Boy,
And
it's the only EMS book that I've known.
business book.
Business book.
Yeah.
There's no EMS book anyways. out
There's
there.
no EMS business.
Okay,
book.
soon there's going to be an educational book, a business book.
But before we can get into the book, tell us what you do now and what led you to get to the book.
And where do you live? You didn't say where you live now.
I
The
live on the
German,
beach.
my German.
I live on the beach. I live under like
On a
under
great
palm tree.
island.
Yeah.
She speaks Spanish also. You guys
Sí, un
didn't know
poquito.
this.
Yo hablo español.
See?
Sí,
Yeah.
sí.
She
So-
Claro que
understands.
sí.
Do not talk bad about her in
And
Spanish,
Spanish.
because
No.
she will know and she would understand.
Yeah, entiendo.
Tell us how ended up on this. Where do you live? Tell me the whole story.
Okay, I came to Miami in 2019
Okay.
and
Pandemic.
Sorry,
It was a
pre-pandemic.
Pre-pandemic.
Right before pandemic.
Pre-pandemic, right before that out. And my big goal was to,
why you left Dubai?
this is
Sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I had planned to come to the US from day one. Before. I couldn't come to the US because of the FDA. And then I met my ex-partner that, I started, operating in Dubai and went to Dubai. And this partnership like ended in the end of 2018. I always wanted to come to the US anyways. So in 2019, I kind of took a sabbatical. I was burned out. I was like, Dubai was an amazing experience. I learned so much. I mean, I was working 7 days a week, multiple countries. I mean, it was insane. I learned so much. We made millions, we lost millions. It was like really trial and error. This was my big trial and error like period. And I came actually initially to take like a little break, but also wanted to move here because my dream was the US from the start. The moment I opened my first studio, I always thought about the franchise and EMS. Like I always thought about McDonald's and EMS. I was obsessed about it. When that movie came out, The Founder, have you watched The Founder?
Absolutely. Great
Like
movie.
I get like chills because I was like, this is gonna be us one day, you know? So, and I invested every money I made from this industry. I always reinvested into learning more about this, you know? And I think I talk a lot about in the book as well about my, like, you know, things like that I got wrong, mistakes I made. And I think I just jumped in any venture. I was like doing it, right? I just jumped in like, and I didn't have experience. I didn't have a mentor or consultant back then. I don't know, to be fair, if I would even listen to them at this age, you know, in this time.
Very difficult, especially in EMS, because not many people would probably even know.
But I also I still was running around like a crazy chicken and had this attitude of I need to do it all by myself.
Correct.
And I didn't know back then how to ask for help. And I would take help from the wrong people who knew that, you know, that knew of my talent and cashed me out, you know, and I I almost think like everyone has kind of a story where we learn from these experiences, you know, that are very, very painful. But I wanted to make sure that this book is not about, you know, like too much about the story of what I went through, but more about what I learned from it. And that my experience is benefiting others. Because what happened was, my initial idea was to come to the US and to franchise here and to make my big dream come true. But then when COVID hit and I met my husband, very unexpected, my husband was the one, like having a background and invested a lot into marketing and to the digital world, who said, Jemima, you have so much know-how. Why don't you go and help others? Like, why don't you start something in the consulting world?
So to put it in context,
That's what we tell them.
the whole retail store business model with two experiences, one in Germany, one in Dubai, make you learn whatever you've learned. Then you move to US thinking, I'm going to do it in US.
Yes.
The planet shut down.
COVID happened.
Yeah. And then you got a new person right next to you, which is your husband today, Johan, that said, all right, so probably it's time to either go online and do something online with your knowledge and
I started
consulting.
I started consulting. Initially, I just started consulting and I saw,
without knowing that you were doing a consulting or yes.
I knew.
Okay.
I knew what I walked into. I was very hesitant because I think there was still I know what I'm doing when I'm on the floor.
Correct.
Right? But now I'm not B2C, now I'm B2B. So it felt really like, okay. But when I got my first customer, it was amazing because that fear of, am I an authority? Because, you know, I just came burned. I made a lot of mistakes that I wish I hadn't done back then. Now I'm embracing it because I already saw that my customers are saving millions because of it. Because I can tell someone going into this industry that's in his 20s, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't give your percentage away for like what, $50,000? Don't do it, right? Or are you thinking of doing a partnership with someone? Let me give you an assessment. Let's qualify them first, right? I didn't do that, right? So I realized when I started, whoa, I can save someone 10 years, literally. Like with a couple of coaching sessions, I can save someone 10 years. And the pain and the money. And time is really the biggest, and time is the most valuable thing at the same time. So I started there and then realizing that's great. They get results. They take something away. But we realized on that path that studio owners or clinic owners or trainers that are in this realm, they are so consumed by this operation that whatever I tell them, they can just partially implement anything.
Correct.
If I tell you all these things, you're like, great, Jemima, when should I do this? So that's when we turned into an agency, right? But the difference is we're not generic. I know the backside of it. And that's how we started. Like, we were just literally serving you and understanding what you need and expanded our services. So that's how we started, bringing the CRM in, bringing now AI in, bringing all these things, because we know that you need more than just
100%.
learning about it.
Yeah.
You need the automation in the background so that, so that you save the time and you not only like learn about it and understand about it, but implement it.
Would you agree that in this niche of the industry, which is we're in the fitness industry, but I will say health and beauty more than fitness, would you say that there's no big brands with big change of EMS studios? Number one, that probably 90% of the studio owners are entrepreneurs and most likely they're instructors. I will say 90% of them are stuck in the circle with operations and all that, and they don't have the vision from outside. And you from outside can help them way more. It'll get to the point that it's going to get massive. Today it's not that massive. 25,000 studios all over the planet. It's not that much. And the amount of people that those studios manage, 300, there's not thousands of members in studios.
Right.
That'll get bigger.
Yeah, it hasn't hit the US market, for example.
Exactly, for example.
Just take the US. The US is massive.
Only US has 35,000 gyms in the United States. So it's 54 million members, which is huge, but not that much. It's 19% of the population here. And out of that 19%, 40% pay and they don't even go. So this is the market here in US. Is a bigger potential? Yes, obviously. We can get more and more and more and more. But the business model itself, there is a fitness studio niche with EMS that it could be open with not that much money and managed with 3 to 4 employees. That's it. How do you see the industry going forward? Let's say, for an instance, imagine the equipment is not a thing anymore. Everyone knows which one is the good equipment. Let's say, for an instance. I know we're not jumping from 5 different providers. That's one. And number 2, the information in EMS is kind of like we all manage the same information. Let's say we're all doing the same thing. Good. What's next?
What's the next thing that's coming?
No, what do you think you are going to do on that field? I believe that not only lead generations and operational assistance, you can also do consulting on how do you open a business, qualify investors, and hedge funds around this, that. There's a bunch of stuff you could do, acquisitions. There's a lot out there on this.
Well, explain to the audience at the moment what exactly is that you do, the service that you provide for us and for other EMS studios. That way we can get into your question.
Yeah, because I'm going faster, and I know that she could do more than that.
Yes, we have like an EMS or like wellness clinic business development program.
Okay.
That includes the development of an acquisition system.
Okay.
And that system includes, we have like an 8-step success path. It's like a framework that just has shown in the last years to bring really great growth and success to the people that we're working with, because they're like, like a lot of people that they start out of passion. And that's why the subtitle is Turn Your Passion into Profit. They don't know how to turn it into profit because lack of skill. And often sometimes lack of budget too, because it's very difficult to take like a one-man business and grow it when you have very limited resources. And on top, you have all that trial and error. So what we do is setting them up for success, because we know the big mistakes you can do. And to give you like a more detail, I always start with the niche, because I think one of the biggest misconception of our industry is that we believe EMS is the niche, and it's not. Like the first thing when I go on Instagram and I see like accounts, they promote a lot of times it's like 20 minutes EMS. And it's
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows what EMS is. And in the US, you get shown to a lot of emergency services.
It is true.
Everyone thinks about emergency services.
EMS is like it's emergency.
So they look at it like they don't understand these keywords matter. So you need to take your bio and write about the pain point of your dream customer. Because now with your background, your experience, right? You can serve, you have so much experience, you can serve a lot of people.
Yeah.
But what are the people that you're really passionate about? Who is the person that you really want to help them succeed? So I try to like go away from this misconception of, okay, now you bought the suit, you bought the equipment, now sell it to everyone because no one wants to work out. No one, like, that doesn't work.
No.
That was the old message that suppliers sold to me. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work because, I mean, it had worked for me at some point, but when I wanted to scale, it didn't work anymore.
Very different.
And that was my experience, because the moment I hired people and I wasn't anymore me running the show on the floor, I realized, shit, it doesn't work. My trainers doesn't sell like me.
Exactly.
They attract different people like me. It doesn't work. So we start with defining the niche, and the niche is not EMS. The niche is whoever you, for example, Sebastian, like who is the person, who's your dream person that you want to serve with the tool of EMS. And then we go from there, as you know. And then if you already have a setup, you have already prices. We have a massive problem in our industry, and that is we undersell ourselves. From the beginning. That's why it's a miracle that we're still alive, because
It is.
It's harmful. And what I'm trying to do, a lot of my work is trying to avoid for the US market to happen what happened in the European market, because the European market was started off completely wrong. But that's also why people had a different understanding of personal training, or had a different standard there. But I'm trying to avoid that for the US market, because we're killing the market before we even started. We are like, instead of educating people about the value, right? Instead of like teaching them what actually we can do for them, we're trying to tell them that they need EMS. And they're like, what? I don't even know what EMS is. And then you can say it's $10 and it's going to be too much, because when you don't know what this does for you, $1 is too much. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
it doesn't help. So a lot of my work is really like education consultation, but I've started building the team behind me so that we can do the things that you don't have time for.
So basically, any EMS studio around the planet can contact you and hire you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much you can get hired for your leads, maybe the structure of how you're selling it to the clients. Do you provide anything with like classes? Like in terms of classes, how they, should they take classes, anything like that? Or is just lead generation, Instagram? Do you provide any other services?
I mean, because of my experience, I have, I've taught for many years, right? I've taught.
You were a trainer as well.
Yes,
correct.
I was I'm a master coach. I'm a master trainer. So I have educated other trainers, my own stuff, and also in the regions for institutions. And I've developed my own trainer certification. So I have my stuff is available to be white labeled, because sometimes I work with companies that want to create their own brand license, or they want to create their own franchise, and it saves them time if they already have, a white label certification, and then they can customize it. Because I think another big problem we have in the industry is it's highly competitive. Everyone is kind of scared that someone else takes something from the share. And it should be the opposite, because when we do the setup correct, when we start with really defining the niche that everyone is in and bringing their expertise to the offer, the premium offer, because we're in the premium world, then no one can be compared to each other. Like you can have a studio right under you or above you, and you're serving a complete different niche. And you guys are actually should come together as a force, because one thing which, again, makes me throw rocks at the suppliers here is that the suppliers, instead of supporting us, they used us from day one. Because what they did is they used us as their marketing. Instead of, they had more profit and margins than we had, and they knew that. And instead of taking budget and helping us with marketing, I only know of one real company that really invests more into marketing, right? And tries to support them. But a lot of them, and the one that I started with, they just used us. They never really invested marketing that would help people come to my store, right? So what happened is that I helped them selling more machines and more equipment.
They don't help you to get more clients.
But it never helped me getting more customers.
Yeah.
And one side effect of it is that we, as we were on the, we were on the floor serving customers, we started now competing with each other.
Right.
Because it was so hard to find leads that we are afraid of what? That
Losing.
the other one steals a lead from me, right? Yeah. When in truth, what should have happened is that they help with the marketing so that more people and support the studios, help us set up correctly with, finding your own niche, finding your own expertise. Because then what would happen is when we are together, for example, we both do EMS. We are different brands, total different brands, because we serve different avatars or dream customers.
Right.
Then the education that we're doing, the education about EMS would create such a more powerful force in the world out there, so that more people learn about it, and that has an effect that more people come in.
Well, one of my masters says, we started up 7, 8 years ago, and he goes it's sad because now you have a bunch of brands out there and everyone is talking about EMS. And I said, that's what you think? He goes yeah, I think it's a good thing. It's different. Is it good for Tesla? There's more electric brands out there, or is it a bad thing? I think it's a good thing. If Tesla is the best, then people will buy more Tesla. But electric cars now is a trend or is a commodity. Since not such a thing, I don't even know what is that. For me, it's harder to sell EMS in 2017 than to 2025. Today, it's I hear about it. Or I tried it with cables or this and this and that. It's good for us.
100%.
Yeah,
do you remember when clients come and said, I'll try it before?
I tried it in Italy. I tried it
Better.
here, but
we said,
it was
okay,
with
perfect.
cables,
Thank you. Perfect. So then you
Makes
wrote
it
this
easier,
book.
yeah.
Yes.
How is this book about? All the things that you're talking?
So it's literally everything that I teach, my whole
Everything is in
system,
here.
all the frameworks. It has a bunch of QR codes to give you free resources. So it's really for someone that wants to start or has started and understand already the pain points, that can right away, get the right steps to do this right.
Who will get this book? Who like a trainer, a studio owner?
Studio owners, investors, wellness clinics, trainers,
business
anyone who is in our industry, they're getting it.
The second book that she's gonna do is gonna be for clients. You'll see. What's EMS and a client's view, the benefits compared with other stuff. EMS as activity, or obviously as a business is good, but for clients.
When I had my first calls with Niche Press work to work on that book, there was a discussion if I go B2C or B2B.
B2C or B2B.
Right. And one of the reasons why I choose
B2B.
not to go B2C was, if I help you, I have more leverage.
100%.
because
You'll push it out more.
the market yet is not ready yet. So I need to help you
first.
so that we have more leverage and can educate still more people. Because when you do better, you know, when you do amazing, you are reaching more people, and when you
Yeah,
reach
and
more people,
the industry grow.
the industry grows.
100%.
I have one question for
We're
you.
running. Go.
Yeah, I have one question for you. If, let's say, there's an EMS business owner just started, or EMS trainer, and he's thinking, hey, I want to, get into Google Ads. I want to start, with an agency. What advice would you give him to start, or even to work with you? Because I know that the stigma, which you touched a little bit, is they're too scared. One, money. Two, if it's going to waste their time, which I think is even more important. What would you say to that person that is like on the fence of things?
I would ask what their goal is, where they are, and what is their goal. I really want to understand more, where they are and what is their goals and what are they afraid of, and really learn more about them first and understand it, and also what experience they have had so far and where they at, where they at this moment. Do they have defined their niche? Do they know, their own expertise, and how important it is to make sure, do they have case studies yet? Do they have success? Because for example, one important qualification I require from you working together is I need to make sure that you know what you're doing. If you do BS, if you don't know, like, I'm not working with you. If you cannot present to me that you're successful and that you help people and that you create transformations, we're not working together. So I want to understand that first. So we have also we qualifying people, because that's very, very important that you already know that, what you're doing.
Yeah.
We're going to start closing this. Hour passed by very fast. And I think this is the first episode.
At least part one.
It's going to be like a month here, so we're going to come back.
Yeah.
Jemima, it's to sit down with a cup of coffee and then talk like 5 hours.
Absolutely.
Today we did it. We've been talking about this for quite a while. I was hoping to meet her in person. We spoke a couple times.
This is the first time we meet her. We just met her maybe about an hour ago.
And but for the next
person.
episode, I'm gonna ask her. I'm gonna ask you today, but you don't answer today. It's why did you contact us or me? It was because you were looking for another brand or client, an EMS, or did you know anything about us, especially, or something? It could be. I don't know. That's my first question. And you can answer today. And then the next one, it'll be our chat. Because me personally, and when we spoke over the phone, it was going to be like 3 minutes chat. She was like, do you have 5 minutes? Let's talk. Remember?
Yeah,
and we started talking. It was an hour over the phone. And I didn't even think. I didn't expect anything. I thought you were like calling me to sell something. I don't know, services.
Of course.
That's one of the reasons why.
That's one of the reasons. Like, don't even answer.
That's why you have your team doing a really good job.
Yes.
They
were like,
it's very good though.
Yeah.
So we filter out. So me and
course.
Ofi's job is to filter out a lot of things, and so then we scroll through our social media, and then we saw a lot of like DMs from you. And so then very good from your end, because you consistently were reaching out. And so then we have a guy that would do like
we'll do that.
And
I don't let them to give my phone.
Yeah.
So.
And so then
that is the right thing to do. I work 100% organic.
Yeah.
And I look at your account, I see what you're doing, and I know that we can do better. We can do better.
I know.
No, and it's like, and I come really from a genuine place, because I'm not a traditional marketing agency. I'm not.
I got it.
And the industry is very small, so like I just want to really look and build like a personal relationship.
So she brought me her book. We spoke about the book, and then I got the electronic version of it. But I think I'm gonna read this one because I'm gonna make notes, and I really feel that something was meant to be in terms of, you know, knowing each other. We have kind of like a connection, sort of. And I love Johan also. It could be different than that because of you. Like you are with a guy which is similar, and everything was like super smooth with you guys.
We're talking, and then we just kept giving Johan praises. We're like, I love how this guy is. I love how this guy does everything.
It's pretty cool.
I tell him every day, I'm so happy for him that he found me.
Yeah.
Like,
My wife says the same. But again, welcome to Miami.
thank you.
We're gonna go to Dominican Republic because I know the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, what I wanted to say, we should maybe do the retreat there.
I will.
that'd be awesome.
We can put a bunch of stuff together. We're gonna do a bunch of things together. I think that the fitness
100%.
industry need people like you.
Like you.
Oh, maybe. It is big. At this moment, we're doing a bunch of stuff. I didn't do a bunch of stuff also because I don't think I'm ready yet. I don't think I have the right team. Because I don't like
Very
to do.
important, yeah.
I don't like to do things by myself, and I've been doing things by myself for quite a while.
Too much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't want to do it anymore. If I don't get the right people, then I don't do it. So I guess God, or call it whatever you want, put the right people on
I
the right.
believe that.
Yeah, I do believe that.
Yeah, I'm a faithful person. Like, we are believers. We're faithful, and we believe that.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you,
She's
Jemima.
a big
Yeah.
Jemima. We're gonna get a like a nickname for her.
Oh yeah.
We'll think.
Yeah. The Miss Jemima. But yeah, this is part 1
Miss
of
EMS.
our series with Jemima and Sebastian. We are more than likely going to do another part
Sure.
before you leave. And so then
We need Johan here.
if Johan will come, we'll also
We can arrange that. But today we just arrived, and
I know the kid.
we have a little son.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know how that works.
So yeah, we're going to get right back into it.
Thank
you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yay.